Hello there, Padawan learners, Jedi masters, and lore legends. Welcome to the Bendu Podcast, where we talk all things Star Wars.
What up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Bendu Podcast, episode 3, where we seek balance in the Force. I'm your Woman 7, and we have our other host, N64 Josh and Nate Johns. What's up, guys?
Hey.
Hello there.
I have to bring this up right away because we were talking about it before the podcast, and Josh has this thing he might do. I'm trying to get him to post it on TikTok. What is it called, Josh?
Man, it's a redneck jetty. I mean Jedi. I mean jetty. No,
Redneck Jedi, man.
Yeah,
Well,
you
hey,
put in a dip, you
what you
pull
think?
out your saber, you open the Coors, and then you try to do mind tricks on the wife, but she always replies, "Mind tricks don't work on me. Only
Hey.
money."
I heard that's how you got 5 kids.
You got more kids. You think I have more kids than I do, I think. I don't know, but I hope I don't have 5. I got 4, though.
Yeah. So I want you to post this on TikTok, dude, because he sent me a private message on video, and it's hilarious, man. I think you should post it. It's pretty
Yeah.
funny.
We'll make some more. I'll show you how to do it.
So how y'all been, man? It's been a couple weeks. You've been Star Wars and anything new? Anything interesting?
I mean, just Bad Batch and finished Clone Wars with my son, and we've moved on to Rebels.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Josh.
Yes, actually, I finished the Aftermath series, like book 2 and 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I won't stay on this too long, but I did want to bring this up because you know how we brought up what is his name? Kyle
Katan
no, the
got me all excited.
his last name's like Bob Vance, the guy that
Oh.
was wearing Boba's gear.
Oh,
you know?
Cobb.
Yeah.
Man.
Cobb
Yeah.
Vanth, right? Cobb
Yeah.
Vanth refrigeration. That's what I always think about every time I hear his
He sells
name.
propane and propane accessories.
Yeah, exactly. No, so in the third book, they're talking about like they're back talking about stuff on Mos Pelos or whatever, and
Yeah.
there's a battle that ensues, and Tusken Raiders show up
Oh,
and
snap.
help defend the city. And after the defeat, they're like, why are these guys helping you? And they go through a list of things, and one of them was defeating the Krayt Dragon and extracting the pearl. I was just like, oh my gosh. So pretty cool that Filoni grabbed from that book and then basically told that backstory. So
He's like, let's make it happen. Yeah.
yeah. So that was awesome. The book was great. I really enjoyed it. And then yeah, Bad Batch. That's
Bad
about it
Batch.
for me.
I read the new Darth Vader comic yesterday and finally posted a video on it. It's pretty good. They're getting into it's like a little short series within the series where it's featuring some of the bounty hunters of Star Wars. And I'm not going to go too in deep because I don't want to spoil it for you guys. If you guys want to see it, we got a short on the YouTube page here that you can check it out. But it's really cool because you can see like Vader, how diabolical he is, and just like it's crazy. It's like what do you call the people that like just want to have pain and suffering? I forgot what that's called. Like they enjoy pain.
Yes.
Yeah, he's almost like that. Like holy crap! There's like a part where they're repairing him and sawing part of his arm, and they're like gonna give him pain meds. He's like, I don't want it. I want pain like it caused my son when I cut off his arm. And I'm like, geez, Vader, he has no chill. Anyways, it's really good because it's starting to feature like Han Solo and some other people, and like you're starting to see more of his plan and like evolve. Is you got to see in the previous comic what was it, 11, Vader finding about Exegol and actually going to Exegol, and that's when you get to see Luke Skywalker's hand and things like that. So, but other than that, just Bad Batch. I did find something cool about the Rebels series and the Bad Batch, how they're kind of tied in together, that I'll share at the end of the podcast when we talk about the Bad Batch, but I'll save that for later. So guys, this is actually some really interesting news. I'm going to put in the chat there in our YouTube live stream. I'm going to put the link so you guys can read it too. There is a lot of talk. I mean, a lot of talk everywhere about George Lucas taking back creative control of Star Wars. And so let's just kind of sit and marinate on this, talk about this for a second, guys. I don't know if y'all got to read all the articles and all the other articles and all the other references that basically reference each other and don't have really any source. And they're saying, oh, it could be true. It might be a rumor. This is a source. What do you think about all this stuff? Do you want George back? What do you guys think?
All right. I would say not anything too big of a role, just because they just publicly announced Filoni in that role. So what was the point of bringing that out publicly just to have George come back? I could see him maybe give him some official title within the company that's just like he's there for questions if they need it. Like a lot of colleges will do like Professor Emeritus. He could be something like that, but I don't think he needs to have full control anymore. Just let Filoni have it.
Can he even legally drive?
He's like 80, I think, right?
Right.
I think he's like 80.
Well, I meant that as a joke, but well, maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, Josh.
The only thing that comes to mind is I got a bad feeling about this.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, 80 years old, like, what's his mind like right now, right? And I don't mean this in any kind of like negative way, honestly, like, but he's gonna, like, there's a pretty big disconnect from 1978 to 2021, you know? And I feel like he did such a great job with Filoni. I mean, there may be some things that could still be gleaned from him, but I don't know. I don't know that it's the best. And I mean, part of this answer comes from episodes 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Right. Like, that's part of the reason. It's because of those 3 movies.
Yeah.
And how often does rehashing things really work out? I mean, think about it. What was it? The Redskins a few years ago when they brought back what's his face who had coached them to Super Bowls. How'd that work out?
Yeah.
Things like that. Like, yeah.
the special editions.
Dan Snyder. There we go. Yeah, that too.
And then there's talk about how he's already, like, apparently he shared that he's already wrote or is writing his own sequel trilogy that has like Leia emerge as the chosen one, and you have Darth Talon, who's Darth Maul's apprentice. So some of that stuff that's kind of legends, kind of making its way into what he's writing. What I think, I mean, because I don't know if you guys know this, but if you watch some of the behind the scenes stuff that Disney actually put out, they actually put this out, which is kind of surprising. But they put out the behind the scenes stuff of when Phantom Menace came out, and they did like a showing, and I saw like another video of someone showing this. So this is the only reason why I even remember this. But they showed a showing where he like went in after the like pre-release screening or whatever. And he said when he came out, he had like a look of dread on his face, and they're like, "Hey, what's wrong, George?" He's like, "I think I tried to do too much." Meaning he tried to be the director, he tried to be the producer, he tried to be the creative director. And so I think, like, just kind of echoing you guys, I think they should just have him like he did on The Mandalorian, where you let Filoni, Favreau basically take over Star Wars now, be the creative leads with Pablo Hidalgo as well, because, he's written like half of all the lore books, and basically have him as a consultant and have him come on and say, do you think this is kind of in the spirit of Star Wars? Because I really do think The Mandalorian kind of bridged the gap between like OG Star Wars fans from the OG trilogy, the sequels. I feel like it kind of bridged the gap between those different fan bases. And if they can bring him in is just kind of consultant, like, hey, help us with Ander, help us with maybe like a Knights of the Old Republic or something like that. Maybe like talk about Revan. Help us like describe Revan. What was his thought process in your head about Revan? I think that would be awesome. But if he came back as a creative lead, I don't know. I mean, he was never a great director. Let's just be honest. It was just like you look at the directing. Like I love the prequels, but the dialogue and everything else is just kind of like could be better. The action was great. The whole story was great, but yeah.
There are points, especially in episode 2, that you're like, is anybody actually directing Hayden Christensen right now? Did he take over and he's filming this himself? Like, what is going on right now?
Yeah.
They should have brought an acting coach on right then and there and just been like, okay, hey, look, you can throw a tantrum, but a little more, less like you're 7 and a little more like you're the age you are right now. All right, let's
slaughter them like monsters.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is a good question in chat. VT31008 says Disney has destroyed Star Wars. So let's talk about that. I think we need to talk about that because I don't think. Here's the thing. It's like you have to take balance in this view. That's what we do, right? We're Bendu. Take balance. Seek the middle ground. We wouldn't have what we have today without Disney. We wouldn't have.
Clone Wars would have been the last thing we had.
Yeah, we wouldn't have. Well, even Clone Wars, I think, was right when Disney was fixing to take over, or at least toward the end.
Clone Wars was on Cartoon Network.
Yeah,
so we wouldn't have had all of Clone Wars.
Yeah. So you think about like we wouldn't have the Star Wars comics that we have. We wouldn't have the merchandise that we have. We wouldn't have near as much talk about the movies. We wouldn't even have the movies. We wouldn't have any of the movies. And whether you don't
movie of all of them, Rogue One.
Yeah, we wouldn't have Rogue One. We wouldn't have the Mandalorian. Like, and yes, you can argue that the sequels were crap. The writing wasn't the best. The choreography wasn't the best. Hey, I'll give you that. I enjoyed it just because it was Star Wars. But I don't think I could necessarily say that Disney has destroyed Star Wars. I would just say it's done a few things that cause divide.
I think they destroyed the Skywalker saga, but they've been okay. And the problem, even like Solo, Rogue One, I don't think they deserved the hate that they got. I think they were okay movies.
I loved Solo. Solo was awesome.
Rogue One doesn't get hate.
It does a little bit. Some people say it's really boring until you get to the end.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Solo had the Last Jedi problem. It came out just like a couple months after it too.
Yeah.
Among the director issues.
It was like basically people review bombing it, basically,
Yep.
And I don't think it ever got a fair shake because of that. So there's actually been a petition out there to have Solo Part 2. So
yeah. I mean, they need to do something.
There's a story to be told. That's for sure.
There is. They teased too much at the end of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
although we could get it with the shows. Who knows?
And I heard one of the comics is bringing back Kara in Crimson Dawn, the Darth Vader comics. When you get into
Kira.
Yeah. What did I say? Kara? Yeah, I said Kara, not. But yeah, it's
like a redneck Jedi.
I just say, hey, Kara, and Crimson Dawn. Yeah, but I mean, it's hard for me with that question because I feel torn on it, man. I just feel like, man, there's a lot of the stuff that we got because of Disney. Like, we wouldn't have the Bad Batch right now. We wouldn't have any of the 2017, 2020 Darth Vader comics, which are freaking awesome. They're awesome. Those comics are great.
Wouldn't have season 7 of Clone Wars.
Yeah, you wouldn't get to see that moment with Rex and Ahsoka and and Vader, finding the helmets and everything. You wouldn't get any of that. So yeah, I think it's a pendulum that has weight on both sides.
Mhm.
I guess is the best way.
I mean, nothing's perfect either.
Right.
Like,
right.
Not everything's a hit.
Yeah. And I think like some of the rumors like this with like George Lucas coming back just even further divides people. You know, it's just you're gonna have like because Star Wars can be campy. We can be campy with our Star Wars, and we can be like, I'm in this camp, and I'm in this camp. I'm in the prequel camp. I'm in the OG trilogy camp. I'm in the sequel camp. And it's for me, it's just I enjoy it all. I may not enjoy all of it the same, like on the same level.
Star Wars.
Yeah, it's Star Wars. It's fun. Like I don't think anything will ever top the OG trilogy for me just because of my memories. Like I can't get over the first time I saw Luke fight Vader and I felt like, oh, he's gonna get his butt kicked. And then Vader kind of held back and then went ham on him, It was like, all right, this is it. Cuts off his hand, I don't think anything can top that moment when he was like, I am your father. Like just nothing could top that for me. So I don't know. I don't know what to make about this George Lucas news. Do you guys have any other thoughts on it? Or
I just hope it's not true that he's taking complete control again.
yeah,
I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you. I think
Yeah.
I think you hit the nail on the head. Like let him consult to some degree, and pass that torch. It's so that's not a bad thing, especially with somebody like Dave who understands the vision of Star Wars. And I mean it's there are people that love the there are people that say they love the sequels, right? But then I also feel like they just want to be contrarians. Like that's like because I'm just like, how do you like even like remove Star Wars from it? If you were given a trilogy that was that butchered, there's no way you could it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. So, but yeah, there are games coming out. Like, there's so much great stuff. The books that are coming out, the comics, everything that's coming out. Like
Lucas Games is back. Like
exactly. Yeah, we got the Ubisoft game coming out. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah. All right.
But I'm going to throw a little bit of a curveball at you real quick.
Let's hear this curve.
Because in the aftermath, the third book, they talk about the dark, the light, and the gray.
There is no gray.
They talk about the gray in the book.
There is no gray.
So, in what context? Do they call them gray Jedi or just the gray?
They were speaking they were speaking about Jedi, and they said the dark, the light, and the gray.
Is Aftermath canon? Because last I saw, it was not canon.
Aftermath is canon. It was the first books that were canon.
Yeah, it's Kylo's being born.
Okay. So let me explain. Do I need to explain this to you guys again? How there's no gray Jedi? Do I need to explain this? And how even George Lucas himself says it's not possible? Do I need to go into this?
I would say there could be gray Force users, but not gray Jedi.
Yeah, I mean, there's people out there.
Wouldn't we argue that Ahsoka is a gray Jedi?
No, not at all.
She's not a Jedi.
She even says it in Rebels. I'm no Jedi.
Several times.
Yeah. Because Darth says, revenge is not the Jedi way. And she says, I'm no Jedi. Like,
and
huge.
She says she's no Jedi during Order 66, too.
Yeah, she's a Sith.
Well, no.
Nope.
There's... Okay, so in the official Star Wars canon, the book called the Star Wars book, it goes into this. It goes into detail talking about how there's other Force users in the galaxy, like the father and son, like the Wills, like the Bendu. They are other Force users in the galaxy that aren't necessarily Sith or not Jedi. They don't adhere to the Jedi code. Because being a Jedi doesn't just mean you can feel the Force. It means you adhere to their code. So their code is very strict. And so, Josh over here laughing at me.
No, I didn't know. I didn't know where you stood. Like, I didn't know where he stood on all this stuff.
Oh,
right?
this is a big sticking point for great.
This is
I know
why-
Thaddeus always pokes the bear.
He
And
always
so
pokes the
I
bear.
was like, I don't know if I'm poking the bear or if I'm like, I don't know who's like, all I know is what it said in the book. That's
Yeah.
it. So that's why I was like, I want to bring it up because I know it's a
Yeah, it's.
know
A,
it's
I
a
mean,
topic,
it's a
you know.
it's a valid topic to talk about. But the book, I mean, I would go get it, but it's in my bedroom. It literally says that they are not light and they're not dark. They're in the literal middle, like the Bendu. And so, you know, a lot of people will say, well, that's the Bendu or gray Jedi, or Qui-Gon was a gray Jedi, but they're literally in the middle. They just follow the will of the Force. And I heard one TikToker explain it like this, and it makes really good sense. If the Force is a river, the Sith are people that will build a dam on the river and control the river how they want it to be. And they'll even stop the flow of the Force to make it do what they want. The Jedi are someone that will build a mill and use the flow of the Force and harness that flow to do what they need to do. The Bendu are the people that just let the river go and they follow the river wherever it goes. So they stay in the middle, they listen to the will of the Force, and they just follow the will of the Force rather than trying to interject and interfere with what the Force wants to do, since it's like the cosmic Star Wars. You know? So anyways.
So what is Ahsoka?
She is someone who left the Jedi Order, a former Jedi. So she's just a Force user now. I know.
So if we
Josh.
go by, so I still play Galaxy of Heroes, the mobile game. They introduced a new thing: unaligned Force user. That's
Yeah.
what she is.
Yeah. So, and you know, Galaxy of Heroes, unfortunately, is not considered canon.
Oh, I know.
So
But
But-
still, it's a nice name for it.
I shot Josh. Look at Josh's face. He's like, "Come on, man! I wanted some Knights of the Old Republic, like gray Jedi."
No. I'm good.
Jolie
I'm good.
Bindo.
I was more curious,
Yeah.
right? Like I didn't have a dog in this fight. I was just kind of like,
Yeah.
what? Like, why was it mentioned?
Yeah.
In this, but it may be worth doing a little more. Like,
Yeah.
we may have to do a little more investigating to see
You can do that.
what's the context of what was being talked about in that
Yeah.
book. So
Yeah, if you can, like, tweet that segment or something, because that would be really interesting to get into. But
I'll look into it.
before we move on to the next fun little questions for the cast, we had a good question by VT in chat again. He said, "If you could redo episodes 7, 8, and 9, what would you do over again?" I mean, the answer for me is obvious. I would
Said it
redo
earlier.
I would redo how they did Luke in The Last Jedi. I feel like you could have made him like feel hopeless and be a hermit and all that stuff. But I would have liked to see him not be as, I guess the word would be like cut off, not caring about the galaxy. Because he was someone that I felt like always cared. Like he was the guy that even though his dad chopped off his hand and he faced the strongest Sith Lord the galaxy has ever seen, threw aside his saber and said, "I will never turn to the dark side. I'm a Jedi like my father before me." Like he's a guy that just endued that hope. And yeah, that hope can wane, it come in ebb and flows and stuff like that. So it would have been cool to see how he kind of lost a little bit of hope and Rey rekindled that a little bit and made him back to what we kind of wanted. We always wanted to see that we saw in Legends. So I think that's really the big thing I would have changed. And I would have made Rey Obi-Wan's daughter. I think that would have been really cool if maybe Satine was pregnant and they never knew, like Obi-Wan never knew, and she had Rey in secret or something like that. It wouldn't really fit the timeline with how they did it. Yeah, granddaughter, maybe something like that. Had a daughter, she was raised on Mandalore, and then, during the purge and things like that, or, something. It'd be cool. I would love to see something.
Who's Rey's mom?
Who's Rey's mom? That's Rey's mom. I need to get that shirt done.
Yeah, get it done.
Yeah.
So to me, 7, 8, and 9 should have happened in 1985, 1988, and 1990.
Yeah, that's
Right?
the biggest issue for me too, I think.
That's when these movies should have happened. And
Or even in
if
the
they were
90s instead of the prequels.
yes, exactly. And then do the prequels after the fact. right? Do the prequels now.
Yeah.
That would have been my preference, just to finish out that story. Fast forward, if they're gonna redo them, if you're gonna keep the same.
Uh-oh, we got a freeze there.
Uh-oh. Yep.
Josh's internet may have crapped out.
Uh-oh.
We'll see.
Well, I'll talk
Yeah. Go ahead, Nate.
until we get him back. I mean, again, like Josh was saying, set him earlier. Try to bring it back to maybe 5-10 years after the fall. I'd love to see more of the Republic and just what happened. Like,
Yeah.
like the idea of, we saw in the prequels the decline of the Republic. What happened to the decline of the Empire? What happened? I'd love to see that aftermath in
Yeah.
those trilogies. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So while we wait for Josh to get back, because look at that, he's just frozen.
Yep.
I think his internet crapped out or something. Let's go with our next fun question on the podcast, and that is ranking your top 3 best pilots of Star Wars. That's a tough one.
I think Anakin's first.
Anakin,
Solo's in there.
Solo. All right. I mean, there's a lot. You got Iden, you got Wedge, you got.
I was gonna throw Wedge there just because he was able to survive
Yeah.
both Death Star battles. I mean, how can you not?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like older pilots too. I'm sure we'll see some with High Republic stuff coming out.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like they don't focus on the pilots a lot. Maybe with the new X-Wing movie we're getting.
Yeah, true. I think if I had to rank, I would say probably my number 1, and I've had some time to think about this. I think it's probably going to be Plo, Master Plo.
Oh yeah,
because he was the best pilot in the whole Jedi Order. I think
was he better than Anakin?
He may have been. He may have been up there with being about as good as Anakin or better. So I'd probably have to say I see it's like 1-2. It's got to be like
Forgot about Plo.
got to be Plo, Anakin, and for me maybe even Poe Dameron over Han. Because some of the things that you see him do,
you know what? That's true.
is
I'll put Poe over Han.
yeah, some of the things you see him do is absolutely amazing.
Especially in Last Jedi, actually, that opening, the
Yeah.
stuff he does in the opening.
Yeah, like that fight scene was just phenomenal. The way he did that with his piloting skills and things like that. So I almost have to put him above it. There's Josh. He's back.
Back.
I don't know. I think the internet at my house, my son just texted me. He's like, it's been happening randomly. The whole thing goes out. So I don't know if it's my router or what.
Yeah.
So I'm so sorry because it probably jacked up the cameras and everything.
That's okay. Yeah.
He's got it on the fly.
So that's got to be my top 3. It's got to be Plo, Anakin, and then probably Plo Koon and Anakin, and then Poe Dameron. It's probably my top 3. So Josh, I don't know if you heard, but we're moving into where we're talking about our top 3 pilots of Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
Your turn.
Is it my turn?
Yes, it is your turn.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna go with it's so tough to pick 3, you guys. Why do you do this? But Poe's gotta be up there. That dude was just crazy. I mean, Han was pretty nuts as well. And then I mean, Luke, you've turned your targeting computer off. I'm gonna go with Luke. So there you go.
Not Anakin.
The scene of him as a kid flying in that Naboo cruiser, it still angers me so much that I can't pick him. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, even Kylo showed some pretty killer stuff.
he did.
right?
Yeah, that's true.
So there, yeah. So, but yeah, those. I went the easy route. I'm sorry.
That said Porkins.
Oh, mid-fi.
That's hilarious.
Well, but I mean, okay, wait. Let me back up though. Even, I mean, the Mandalorian. that dude was showcasing some pretty mad skills.
He was.
You know,
With
with the
the
Razor
ship,
Crest. So I'm gonna replace Luke with Mando. There you go.
Yeah, because I
That's
don't know if
legit.
Luke is necessarily a good pilot. He has good targeting and good instincts for the one shot, but the rest of his flying.
Yeah,
Hey, the speeder bike was pretty good.
yeah, I think
Sounds
like
awful.
Luke was like he had help from his
The wrapping the tow cable.
Yeah, I mean that was cool. That was cool. But still, I mean, he had a lot of help from his friends. A lot
And he
of
still
help.
got shot down by AT. Those
Exactly,
things
yeah.
move like snails.
Yeah. Track says wedge in chat. He says wedge. It's got to be his. So,
Yeah, there you go.
all right. So let's go to the next fun question here. Who is the best bounty hunter in Star Wars? And then give me your top 3 bounty hunters. I mean, if
Do I?
and you can't say
Dengar?
Luke. There you go. That's a good one. Yeah.
Yep, I was thinking him too.
He
We get more
counts.
Dengar in the aftermath.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
Uh,
I mean, Boba's got to be in there.
IG-88, most definitely.
That's a good one.
Most definitely. And
I prefer IG-11.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Do you guys remember playing through Shadow of the Empire?
A
and having
long
to
time
fight
ago in a galaxy far, far
IG-88?
away.
I've got the cartridge somewhere in my house.
Yeah, that battle with IG-88 it's one of the things that sticks out in my mind the most with that game.
Yeah.
Like that was, I remember it was like, this guy's no joke. Like he's absolutely no joke. And then when we got to see him, or a bot like him in Mando, I don't know what that was a
It was
different
11.
IG-11.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
IG-11.
It's the same IG unit. Yeah.
right. But seeing him in action then was like this is awesome.
This is the way.
And then for the it's got to be Boba Fett. Yeah, you can't, no disintegrations. I mean, that's
guys, I can't believe y'all didn't think of probably the best bounty hunter that we get to see in Clone Wars. I mean, any guesses in chat, any guesses with you guys? I mean, can you think of who I'm thinking of? He took on multiple Jedi. He even took on a Sith Lord. He even broke into the Jedi Temple and stole a Jedi holocron.
Was
he
it
took-
Tempo?
He took on Anakin and Obi-Wan at the same time, took on Quinlan Vosk and Obi-Wan at the same time, and still
Cad.
got away. Any guesses?
Cad
It is
Bane.
Cad Bane. I mean, the dude was
was
a
a Darkwing Duck, right? Same
Cad
voice actor,
Bane,
right?
dude. Josh, I hate you. Oh my gosh, Josh. Oh
Now we
my,
need a shirt of Cad Bane as Darkwing Duck.
oh my gosh, dude. The merch
Every time I hear
ideas.
Like, let's get dangerous.
Dude, he's freaking epic. Cad Bane is like the best. He's got the freaking shock wrists, like whatever you call it, where he can grab you and shock you. He's got the flamethrowers. He's got the darts. He's got the boot rockets. He's amazing, man. So I got to say Cad, I got to say Boba, and I got to say Jango. Those are probably my top 3. And I only put Jango because he was the clone template. So the Camino, yeah, the Caminans thought he was like legit, and he also fought in the Mandalorian Civil War. So
We didn't
he's
see it though.
we didn't see it, but the Mando season 2 did say, he even fought in the Mandalorian Civil War, is what Boba says. So I gotta go those 3. Those are probably the best. Cad Bane, Darkwing Duck. Oh my gosh. All right. So we're gonna skip the lore corner because we wanted to keep this podcast episode a little bit shorter tonight. Because Josh got to split at a certain time tonight. Josh, again, killing me. I'm joking.
No, I just ruined everything today.
I know. So we're
Great
gonna skip
Jedi,
Great Jedi, Darkwing
Rey's
Duck,
mom.
Rey's mom. So we're gonna skip Nate's lore corner and we're gonna go straight into the Bad Batch, and we have episode 5 and 6 to talk about. So go, guys.
Rancors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like-
that was a fun surprise.
Yeah, I think when they referred to it as an adolescent Rancor, like that was not the distraction I was planning on. Or like, that is such a great line.
It just Wrecker going head to head, toe to toe with that Rancor is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
When they're just slugging each other. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. My
Speaking of Wrecker,
yeah.
I'm getting a little worried.
Oh yes. Something
But
is
All the hits to his head. That's not good.
that is not good at all. I'm really worried about that.
Especially this week's.
Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen with that. I mean, because soldiers follow. I mean, that's a little,
That's gonna be tough.
yes, because Wrecker is like one of my favorites just because he's so funny. And he's just a
And he wants to
lovable
blow things
character.
up.
Yeah, he likes to blow stuff up. So he's just a lovable character. I got to say something funny too. My second son has been going around imitating Omega's voice and doing like, oh, Minchie looks scared, or however she does it. Oh, poor Minchie, she looks scared. So yeah, it was a hit for them, needless to say. But yeah, it was pretty cool to see all that. And so I want to bring this up because I didn't realize this until I started thinking about it. But we actually see in Rebels where Ahsoka finds a droid's head, like they did in the last episode, and they use it to help them against their fight against the Empire. And I thought that was a really cool tie-in of how Filoni's like interweaving everything together with Star Wars, like all his stuff that he does.
I actually recently watched that episode
Yeah.
with my son.
Yeah. So I thought that. Who do you guys think? Who do you guys think that is going to be the mystery person that we saw at the end of what was it, episode 6?
Ray's mom.
Ray's.
Real quick, Hondo shares the voice with Darkwing Duck, not Cat. So just wanted to I could take one bad check mark away now. So just want to throw that.
Yeah.
It's Hondo.
Yeah.
Hondo's pretty awesome though.
He is. I'm Hondo. He's almost like Watto. Mind the tricks that don't work on me. Only money.
Yeah. Yep.
Something
I don't know. I don't know who that. It seemed they definitely like they made it seem like it was somebody kind of villainous, right? And I'm sure that was intentional to maybe kind of throw us off. So, you know, I don't know. My mind kind of goes to like Saul possibly. That's kind of what that's
Saw Gerrera.
yeah, that's one of the people I was thinking maybe.
I have a couple of
There-
ideas.
I'm about to say I have a few ideas too.
Go ahead, Nate.
So I mean, some of the more obvious ones are Ahsoka and Rex. I mean, Ahsoka is a very obvious one just because she worked with the Martez sisters in Clone Wars. Rex, he'd be interested in rogue clones. Then there's also, so when we saw the Martez sisters in season 7 of Clone Wars, they were butting heads with the Pikes. And we know Crimson Dawn is rivals of the Pikes.
Yes.
And Maul and Kira are, I think that timing would work out for Kira being part of Crimson Dawn. I'm not sure on the timeline there, though. So it could be Kira. It could be Bail Organa.
Yeah.
So many options.
This is my off the wall theory, so probably not true, but we've saw a lot of like fan theory, like not fan theories, but like fan reimagining of when the Empire basically fought the Kaminoans and killed all the clones and all of that. And the person that led them was Boba Fett. So maybe we see, because here's this is why I'm saying it's off the wall, like way off the wall, right? We saw in episode 5 when you're in the office of what's their name? Sid.
Yeah.
When their office is Sid. You see in the back of their wall a bunch of helmets, right? And one of the helmets is the prototype 40th anniversary Boba Fett white armor that originally was going to be like a super commando stormtrooper in the theme of Mandalorian, but it was Boba Fett's original prototype armor. So you see it hanging up on the wall. So I think that's Filoni almost saying like, we're going to see Boba in this. That's why I think maybe Fennec was hired by Boba to get maybe Omega. Like maybe the Empire hired Boba and Boba's like, let me get Fennec in on this. So it's way off, off the wall. But what if Boba leads like stormtroopers and they take over? I mean, how heartbreaking would that freaking be? And because we know Jango didn't like the clones. We were just like, oh, these guys are inferior to me. The only clone he liked was Boba because it was unaltered. So,
now Boba could like the clones just because he was with them for a little bit in Clone Wars.
Yeah, maybe. He clearly didn't really care for them though. Like, and Jango didn't really care for him. I know that he trained some of them, but he didn't really care about them at all. For him, it was just a payday and a job. Because he was ruthless, man, when it comes to bounty hunting, kind of like Boba. But that's my off the wall. I think it maybe we see somehow like that would be extremely heartbreaking if that happened. But my best guess, probably Rex. It's probably Rex. Because he knows that they're going to have to take out the Empire and he's taking away all their advantages and things like that. I mean, maybe it is Crimson Dawn. That would be probably the next best guess. But yeah. Josh, are you in deep thought? Are you meditating on the gray Jedi?
No, you guys have just said so many cool things that I'm like, oh my goodness, like I kind of want to see Boba repainting his armor, and has he been, I can't remember, do we see Jango's armor in the Clone Wars?
Like the animated series? No.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
And is Boba too young?
Boba is like an adolescent at this point because you think like toward the end of Clone Wars, he set up a trap for Mace where he used he was
still pretty young.
Yeah. He was still pretty young.
Right after Order 66.
So I don't know. He might be like 14,
he might be too
15, young. Maybe. I'm not sure on the age.
Too young for that.
Yeah. And like Jerry said in chat that he blew up a helmet that basically looked like Jango's to try to lure in Mace and them. So, but yeah, it's, I mean, that would be crazy though, right? Because like you're saying in chat there, Jerry's talking about Force Awakens, because you see Boba Fett lead the armies against some of the Kaminoans, and things like that, because he's working with Darth Vader. So it's going to be interesting if they take all of this into account and pull it all together.
I mean, they could be, like we were talking about earlier, taking some of the threads from Solo.
Yeah.
And expanding upon them during Bad Batch. I mean, it's too early. I don't remember where Solo is timeline wise. At least the bulk of the movie.
I believe it's before Rebels.
Okay.
Or maybe it's after Rebels.
It's well before Episode 4.
It's 10 to 13 years before New Hope. I just had to Google it.
So it's not out of the question, depending on how long they want to go with Bad Batch, or if they want to, kind of what they're doing with Mandalorian, spin off other things from it.
Yeah. So it's like right in the thick of Rebels and all of this stuff, so I mean, we could say maybe a Han Solo. Like,
I actually, because they went to Corellia, I was like, are we going to see a Han or a Kira in the background?
Yeah.
Somewhere?
Yeah. Kara.
That's a Kara, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see where it goes, because I feel like, kind of like Clone Wars, you have a few filler episodes where you kind of build out and flesh out the characters. I kind of feel like that's happened. 5 and 6 are finally starting to pick it back up a little bit. And there's going to be 22 episodes of the Bad Batch? 16. Okay. Why was I thinking 20? I thought maybe that's...
A lot of shows have 22 season runs, so maybe that's it. But yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be
I mean,
interesting.
I think we're getting there's some slow things that are building through, like Wrecker.
Yeah.
And just establishing what they're going to be like. I do want to see more of that early Empire stuff, though, that we saw in like episode 3. We saw it in 1 and 3, but we haven't seen Crosshair since then.
Yeah. Oh, what if it's Ahsoka and we see Crosshair and Wrecker try to go after Ahsoka, and like Rex is the only one that stops them and helps them take out their inhibitor chips? That would be.
I
That
wonder
would
if
be
Crosshair's actually going to get redeemed, though.
I don't know. I mean, because I feel like he almost did something unredeemable by shooting those.
I think so, too. I
Citizens
think Wrecker's going to be the one they save, but
Yeah.
not. I think Crosshair, I could see him being a prototype for some special troop in the Empire.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, man.
Fastback's talking about, how we did see the young Kanan at the beginning. Like,
Yeah.
do you think there's a chance he's possibly that character?
I doubt it. He's too clone.
He's too, yeah.
He
And
needs clones too much.
he cut ties too. He like went on the run and like joined up with a bunch of mercenary groups just to try to survive, and like hid himself being a Jedi.
The way she worded it, though, it almost sounded like. I mean, I could be mistaken, but almost like these are who you're looking for, you
Yeah.
know, like to take out, maybe, or
This is a good
know.
question in chat. Fastback said we could see Darth Maul. What if it's Darth Maul and
That's what I
Crimson
was gonna
and
think of,
Crimson
Crimson
Dawn?
Dawn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Or Dryden Voss
yeah,
from
like
Solo.
basically acting as like Maul's hands and eyes. You know, dang, dude. If they start bringing all this in, because Filoni's known to do that. He's known to bring I mean, he's basically bringing in all these amazing characters from like Rebels and Clone Wars, which like fans love. So I don't know, man. I just know that at some point he's probably going to make me cry. Because he always does that. He always does that.
And it'll probably be because of Wrecker.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So any other closing thoughts, guys, before we wrap this up? I think we kind of had some pretty good talk about the Bad Batch.
I just really enjoyed it, like the 2 episodes, and I think it was great that we started to see more of. I can't remember the other bounty hunter's name that was in Mandalorian, but that we got to see more
Fennec.
more Fennec. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's just it's fun the way the stuff all intertwines and interweaves together, and and it's one of those things that makes me feel bad for the people that miss that, like that just kind of, my parents have watched Mandalorian probably like 5 or 6 times now, but they'll never watch this
They don't
stuff.
have the backstory of Ahsoka and Ahsoka leaving Anakin and all that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's unfortunate that they'll miss out on it, but and I mean, you can even try. There's people you'll tell, like, hey, check this out. Disney even did a good job of like, here's the episodes to watch if you're into Mandalorian, right? With Clone Wars, like they put them all together. But
Yeah, I saw that on there. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. They need to let you to make like playlists of episodes for Clone Wars, like, all right, and share it with people.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Well, right on, guys. So hopefully we'll have another podcast talking about Star Wars in the next couple of weeks. We're kind of doing this bi-weekly. It seems to be working out pretty well. So, guys, thanks for joining. That was fun. And it was Ray's
Great
mom.
time. Thanks for having me.
It was Ray's mom.
It was definitely Ray's mom.
Guys, thanks for joining us. Make sure you visit MuleHornGaming.com. Click on the podcast menu for more great podcasts in the MSG network, like the Analog Assault podcast. And if you like this podcast, make sure you like this video and subscribe for future episodes for more great videos as well here on our YouTube. Also, check out the description for our Amazon store link and our Epic Creator Code to help support the channel. And guys, as always, remember,
the Force will be with you, always.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you, Master.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with us all.